Hey folks, so I just finished working and it's super late and I'm super tired, but I really wanted to talk about something that's been on my mind. I just came across a comment on one of my videos from a guy who hates Trump, and I believe him, but who's worried that Walz wasn't strong enough. And that is sort of the general criticism, right? I guess Vance came off looking slicker. Yeah. Okay. Looking slicker and tougher. I don't know. Maybe it's that psychopath thing that happens. People think psychopaths and sociopaths look tough. But I wanted to share some thoughts because I think we really need to do some work on redefining what makes a person strong. Because the alpha thing isn't working. I mean, what do you think the vice president is going to do? Is he going to beat up the foreign leaders? Is he gonna sick his military on them? I mean, come on. He doesn't have to be an asshole. It's far more difficult to get along with people than it is to not get along with people. And if you get along with people, you probably have some experience getting along with people. And I don't think JD Vance can get along with frickin' anybody. Anybody. He's obviously working off of a lot of childhood trauma that has made his soul turn black. And he is scheming. And he is out there ready to undermine our system. And you know what, folks? He's in it to win it because he knows Orangina Perfilicious Felonious Schlumper McPhee is not going to last. He's obviously glitching out. He's going to be under so much stress. I mean, the dude is going to go to prison, okay? So, you're voting for JD Vance if you're voting for Trump. And he is a scary guy because he is smart, because he went and he got the education from Yale that enabled him to learn how to manipulate people more than anybody who's not quite as smart. So when everybody is criticizing Walz for being nervous, I mean, hello, we are humans. I mean, if he walked in there like, oh my gosh, I do this every other Wednesday, I'm so slick at this, like that would not be real. Nervousness does not disqualify a person from having an incredible well of emotional intelligence, which frankly the VP job requires. People around the rest of the world are progressing, okay? They're getting more in touch with their intellect, and that means all of their emotional intelligence as well as their intellect intelligence, and that is where the future is going. All of the mental illness and the depression and all of that bullshit comes from the patriarchy model. We've tried it, okay? Religion is based on frickin' patriarchy. It's a shame-based system. Shame doesn't work on a person. It doesn't. Shame doesn't make people stop being addicted. Shame doesn't make people stop being depressed. Shame doesn't make people learn. What helps people learn is compassion. Radical compassion for themselves and for everything that they've gone through. That's where you start to grow. When you can look at yourself and you can say, oh my goodness, I'm sorry for myself. That was hard. I wish somebody had been there to help me. And now I'm going to take the pieces back because a lot of the paradigms in my life were built on broken pieces. And now I'm a grown up and I get to put the pieces back like a grown up. JD Grumpy Cat Lashalicious is stuck in the past because he had a lot of frickin' trauma. And obviously it's a mother wound, okay? Because he hates women. He has told us a million frickin' ways. He hates women. Republican women. Why can't you see a woman hater? He's making it obvious. And I'm sorry for you if you don't recognize the difference between a man who loves women and a man who hates women. But it couldn't have been more obvious than it was on the debate stage. And Tim Walz loves women. And don't give me this, oh, well, they must be a pervert. That is the most lazy frickin' way to try and take somebody apart. Oh my God, Maggie, you gotta grow up. People that you don't like aren't automatically pedophiles. People who say I'm out there grabbing women by the pee, yeah, you might have a little red flag on that dude because he's probably done that a lot. And it didn't take anything for him to brag it to this man that he had just met. When we went over that and everybody apologized for that, called that locker room talk, that told you, wow, what a sad country we have. What a sad, frickin' misogynistic country we have. And I am happy to tell you that I don't know any men who would talk like that in a locker room. And I had to be careful about the men that I chose to be friends, and certainly the man that I chose to be my husband. And I chose well because I knew I was going to have children. And they were going to deserve a man who loves women and not a man who hates them. Okay? So I would really love for us to redefine what we are looking for when it comes to strength, what it takes to get along with people. It takes nuance. It takes nuance. It takes experience. It takes good intent. You think he's going to go out there and let people hurt Americans? Obviously, he's about as American as it gets, okay? He's invested in the real world. He's invested in real America. He started bringing people together a freaking long time ago. It sounds like he did that fresh out of high school. The guy's father died when he was 19 years old. So he probably had to step up like a man and be braver than JD Grumpy Cat Lashalicious has ever had to be in his life, because all he did was go to a school that got him a really great vocabulary so he could put all of his experiences into a book, because they're pretty freaking dramatic and pretty freaking awful. And anybody reading that book would know that he's got a lot of work to do to undo all of that bullshit that he went through. That was a horrible childhood. Okay, but then what happened? Did he go out there and get to know the man on the street and help people? No, he didn't. He met a billionaire who thought he was a really good slick talker and that he could sell this billionaire to people who have a lot of money, who really like to invest in people who are slick talkers. And that is all they look for. Slick talkers who are willing to change whatever their opinion is that's going to get them the most power and get them the most money. And he is in it to win it. And if we end up with him at the top, we're going to have a freaking terrifying country. So, do it for women, folks. He hates us. He hates us. Choose Tim Walz. Come on, please. All right. Love ya.